I'm going to introduce this next comedian to the stage. He's a dear friend of mine. He's a hilarious comic. He took my last stand-up comedy class, and just so funny. We had to have him back. Incredibly talented guy. I believe this is his third time on stage, but you're going to see how incredibly funny he is, how far he's come in just a very short time. So funny, so hilarious. Give it up for the very talented Mr. Bill Corson. Is that right? Like Biff Corson. Biff Corson. Biff.
I feel like I should warn you guys, let you in on just how edgy this is about to get. I drove here tonight in a van. I don't mean like a creepy windowless panel van. I'm talking about a minivan with a backup camera, sliding side doors, all-wheel drive. A real Dadmobile. So strap in, because you are in for a safe and sensible ride. That's right, I'm married with 2 kids, guys. I am domesticated AF, y'all. You know you have officially grown up when you finally stop hiding those stool softeners in the bottom of the shopping cart. Am I right? Somebody? I'll tell you a little bit about my past. I used to be a cop. I do a little work as a lawyer now. You know, I became a cop really, really young. And then I decided I wanted to do something better with my life. So I became an alcoholic. I'm just kidding. I was never a cop. You know the thing that makes me crazy living in this city? Sign spinners. That's what I call these people that stand in front of stores holding a sign so the store doesn't have to get a permit. But the problem is, half the time you have no idea what they're selling because they're trying to impress you with their juggling ability. If you're that psyched about your product, why not just put on a whole stage production right on the side of the road? Act out what you're selling. If it's a mattress sale, just lie down on the sidewalk with a blankie. If it's Taco Bell you're advertising, I don't know, drop trowel and sit on a borrowed toilet. It could backfire though. Cover your eyes, kids, we're passing the Brazilian wax studio. You know, so I mentioned that I've been a cop, and I did become a lawyer, but these days I'm mostly a stay-at-home dad, or as my wife likes to call me, Mr. Mom. A lot of my guy friends like to ask me, what is the hardest part about being a stay-at-home dad? And I'll tell you right now, it's the breastfeeding. I mean, it's not just that I can't produce milk biologically, there's the chafing, the cracked nipples. There's the staring, the handcuffs. Cops these days just don't know a dedicated dad when they see one. Don't hate because I can't lactate. But you know, being a stay-at-home dad does remind me a lot of my old life as a cop. Because I'm still getting bit, scratched, and thrown up on. As a matter of fact, I can't wait till somebody invents the toddler taser. Talk about a real game changer for the terrible twos, right? Think about it. Next time you walk into a mall, if the toddler taser existed and you see a kid flopping around on the floor, you'd have to ask yourself, is he throwing a tantrum or was he throwing a tantrum? The toddler taser, available anywhere, anything at all is sold. So my in-laws are currently staying with us for the next 6 months. Now don't get me wrong, the help around the house and with the kids is priceless. But you know what else you can't put a price on? Eating Fruit Loops in your underwear. They're visiting from Bulgaria, and they're playing their Bulgarian soaps really loud, and I hear them, and I gotta tell you, talk about a melodic language to the American ear. Close your eyes if you wanna imagine this with me. Go ahead and close them. Now imagine what it might sound like if a drunken Vladimir Putin got himself caught in his zipper. You know, I'm getting a vibe from the audience. I should back up and do like a geography lesson real fast. Bulgaria, especially if our esteemed president is in the room. Bulgaria is what's known as another country. Other countries make up this faraway land that we call the rest of the world. That's where all those people are gathered around pointing at us and laughing. But you know, my in-laws seeing me in my undies would not be the worst thing that has happened between us. 15 years ago, I started dating who would become my wife, and we went to see them over there. We happened to witness out on a walk one night. We happened to witness a street robbery. So the police show up to take our statements, and I tried to be all cool because at the time I was still a cop. So I tried to tell these two guys in my limited Bulgarian, I'm an American police officer. I would have intervened, but I don't have my gun. The problem is, in Bulgarian, the word for gun and the word for penis, a couple of you are ahead of me. Those two words differ by only one syllable. So what I actually told two complete strangers was that I was visiting their proud nation without my private parts. Now, I don't think that's all on me, right? I mean, come on, Bulgaria. When you were sitting around thinking up your language, nobody raised their hand and said, "Excuse me, these two words are awful similar. Maybe we should put in like a phonetic safeguard of some kind. This could cause problems in the future." But to his credit, this man that barely knew me, who would one day become my father-in-law, he grabbed me tight around the shoulder and he leaned in to reassure me in his broken English. "It's okay, I have pill for you." What else can I say about parenthood? I have two daughters. The oldest one is almost 6, which means at this point, even my blood type is glitter. And these days I hope, on top of hope, on top of more hope, that she doesn't grow up to be one of these girls that post duck-faced selfies. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, duck-faced? Like when Kim Kardashian posts a picture with her lips sticking out just so and she looks kind of ridiculous? What? Seriously, in the future, like 5,000 years from now, what will they think of us if an archaeologist discovers the first digital evidence of America's existence, and it's nothing but thousands upon thousands of duck-faced selfies? Will they think it was a disorder? And if so, will they think it was physical or mental? I can just hear the Future Discovery Channel now. The duck-faced people of ancient America are a baffling mystery indeed. There is no shortage of documentation of these people. That is, if they were in fact people at all. Photographic evidence abounds, always taken at arm's length, with heavy face paint and very little clothing. The duck people believed that cameras could steal their soul, and thus would only pose when they themselves could hold the camera. These individuals were most likely to be found in their own bathrooms, at centers dedicated to physical exercise, or driving. Researchers are unclear as to why they seem to have gone extinct, but they point to a distinct lack of evidence of a single mature specimen. Their extinction is all the more puzzling, given that their photos seem to indicate their sole activity was attempting to attract a viable mate. Photos of the duck people in their natural habitat are accompanied by extensive lists of what were known to be followers, leading some researchers to conclude that they were highly revered. However, the predominant theory remains that not a single one of them had any real friends. If you came for the silly, I'll give you the silly. So parenthood will change your life. It will change you as a person. For example, these days, I catch myself saying things that I can't even believe they're coming out of my mouth. Things like, if you don't stop complaining, I will turn this car right around. Things like, no, you cannot go outside in only your underpants. And my favorite, wow, what a great poop you did. And these are just the things I say to my wife. She's a lovely lady. You know, I think I'm going to get one of those, what do you call them? Vasectomies. As you can see, I am great with transitions. But get this, to even make the appointment for the vasectomy, my health insurance company told me I had to go to a 2-hour class about vasectomies. Wait a minute, what? Did the doctor not already take a class? It's really kind of a daunting prospect. I didn't want to be spread eagle on the operating table, and he's over here glued to a YouTube tutorial? I didn't want to come to and find out this so-called doctor has bolted my man bits on backwards. Find out the only way I'll hit a urinal the rest of my life is to go into downward dog? Thanks, Obama. But you know, the vasectomy stuff has really just showed me my age. I think it's time that I accept that I'm growing up. I'm like the minivan of men now. Sure, the younger, sportier version of me may have been a lot more fun, but the cops were likely to get involved. Now, as the minivan of men, I'm super reliable. I show up when I'm supposed to and nobody gets hurt. Sure, I stop and fill up a lot more often, but I got way more storage space than I used to. And you know, like a lot of vans before me, and like some dads out there, one day soon, I might be available with fake wood. Thank you very much. That's all the silly I got.
Give it up for Biff, everybody.